Bonjour mon ami, this is my Sealy doing my first commentary video for Napoleon Total War. I'm in command of the French, as you can see, under Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of the French. My opponent is Silent Scope 05, commanding the Austrians. Let's take a look at my forces. I am afraid to say that I am using a rather unhistoric military force consisting entirely of infantry. I have an elite regiment of the brave, 4 units of young guards, 3 skirmisher units of voltigeurs, and 4 units of experienced old guard. And now let's take a look at my opponent's forces. As I said, my force is a bit unhistoric. Napoleon would have definitely have used cavalry and artillery. I look at his line infantry. He has the 47th Czech Regiment. That is an elite unit. 2 units of Hungarian Fusiliers. Here's an artillery piece. 2 units of 7-pound howitzers. Some more line infantry. We have the Emperor's Own Regiment, an elite unit. Another unit of Hungarian Fusiliers. Yet another unit of Hungarian Fusiliers, German Fusiliers, and then Hungarian Grenadiers. Also, complementing his force, he has 3 units of Austrian Jaegers. For cavalry, he has 1 unit of cuirassiers. These are heavily armored and heavily armed heavy cavalry. And on his left flank, he has a Uhlans and an elite unit of 1st Hussars, all under the command of General Joseph Elvinchai. As you can see, I have advanced my forces at a run. Because I lack artillery and cavalry, I am outmatched at a distance because I am unable to attack his guns. So I have advanced my units closer. However, I have left my General Napoleon Bonaparte way at my rear, and he is not in close to the fighting. However, I have advanced my skirmishers a little bit too far because the Austrian Jaegers are attacking me. They have a slightly higher range and are able to pick off some of my men. So here the battle is beginning. On my left flank, I overextended his line, and so I am able to flank him right away. This will come in quite handy during the battle. But however, on my right flank, he possesses his cavalry, and they are charging in towards my old guard. And due to the lack of attention by the commander, myself, I was not able to put them into square formation. So they are being quite literally overrun by these cavalry. I have lost several men there. Excuse me. And now elsewhere on the battlefield, things are going slightly better for myself. He managed to charge his cuirassiers towards me, but because of my flanking fire, I was able to rout them. Also, his Jaegers are running, but then he brought in his general, and his general is reinforcing the morale of his troops, and so I advance my men forward. I have the young guards here charging towards his German Fusiliers and Hungarian Grenadiers. Also, I have my skirmishers advancing. On my right flank, my old guard is still being harassed by his cavalry units. However, the other units of old guard are advancing towards his line infantry. And in response to that, he is issuing orders from his cannons to attack my line infantry as well. So I am facing artillery attacks, but also I am gaining some ground on my left flank. At this point, I managed to break through his lines with my skirmishers, and in a second they are going to break off attacking his 1st Regiment of Emperor's Own, his elite unit, and they are instead going to charge at his 7-pound howitzers. Back on my left flank, I have virtually wiped out all resistance at this moment because his men are currently just standing there. And so I'm getting flanking fire on his German Fusiliers. Finally, he notices this and moves to reposition. His general is also repositioning. And speaking of generals, I have finally brought mine, Napoleon Bonaparte, up to the fight. I sent him to my right flank to reinforce my old guard because of the cavalry charge, but he was a little bit too late, and the old guard has already done its work and repelled the enemy cavalry charge. Towards the middle of the battle, I am starting to lose men. My old guard is routing shamelessly, and On my left flank again, the flanking fire continues. He's managed to reposition some of his German Fusiliers in order to attack my men, but I simply have too many numerical superiority. In the center, my old guard remains steady and has begun to rout his Hungarian Fusiliers. Back on my right flank, we are still fighting over this ground. His cavalry charge weakened my right flank, but I still have a majority in numbers. But that still doesn't help because my old guard, my experienced chevroned old guard, breaks and runs. Napoleon is there, but they are simply not coerced back into the fight. Back on the left, we are undoubtedly winning. Towards the center, I have routed his howitzers, and basically this battle is over. As you can see, it was a victory for myself, but good game to my opponent, Silent Scope 05.